What is good, everyone? It is your boy, the Crooked Commish, back at it again, ready to talk some more fantasy football, chop it up with you guys here. So making some chop suey. All right, I'm done with the dad jokes. My bad. So anyways, guys, week 1 is in the books, man. A preseason, that is. And we're ready to talk about it. We are a man down today. The mouth from the Bay had some surgery over the weekend, so he is not available tonight. But don't worry, I ain't doing this shit by myself. Got me some backup. We have a 3-timer. Yes, I said 3-time guy coming back to the clubhouse. So he is what we like to call here getting the hat trick there tonight. So good for him. Good for him. I'm sure you guys can guess who it is. If you can't, stay tuned. So we also have another guy coming back to the clubhouse. Again, like I said, he likes to wear, let me give you a hint here. He's from one of the biggest state in the country here, and that means he has a big old cowboy hat. Oops, I think I gave it away there. So, and he likes to talk about just the tip. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, stay tuned. So, but besides all that, like I said, the commish and panel have some trades that we're going to review that I saw, want to check out, get everybody's thoughts. Who won the trade? Who didn't win the trade? Maybe both teams won the trade. You never know. So along with talking about week 1, we'll also get into week 2 and talk about the players that we liked and that we're looking forward and eager to see in week 2 to see if maybe they can back up their week 1 performance. So anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get the show kicked off.
Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, spin the up score for the record. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, spin the up score for the record. Introducing first, he the Crooked Commish, making sure it's understood that he him. Next up, he the mouth from the Bay, dynamic duo, hit you with an ounce of that game, they make you bow face and salute the truth. Curve all the blase blind and whoop-de-whoop. On the path to the bag, got that money and the power. They gon' ball every fantasy football hour. Got them sour, these hacks can't hack it. Meanwhile, they on point like a cactus. Want smoke and get smoked like some cat piss. If you can't be good, damn it, be good at it. Ay, Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, spin the up score for the record. Chicago Clubhouse Network. Crash out, this a crash course, no lecture. Lay hack, keep a signal caller under pressure. Check the stats, spin the up score for the record.
Once again, thank you to Bogey for the hot intro song. Really do appreciate it. Love it even more and more every time I hear it. So thank you again to Bogey. If you guys are interested in something like that, put in the chat and my boy will hook you up. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and get my guest in here. First up, let's go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, along with his sidekick, Bones. Bones Jones.
Yes.
Bogey always has a good story on how Bones met his fate, and I'm sure we'll hear another one of those stories here tonight.
Yes. Yeah, shout out to my always with me as usual, my man James Earl Bones.
Yes.
James, that's where we're going. That's his handle this week.
Yes, he's your Vincent. You know how the $1 Million Man had a
he had Virgil.
Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil. He's your Virgil there. So.
And you know, it's kind of funny because before Virgil, it was actually Bones that carried the title around for Ted DiBiase. Yeah. But then Ted DiBiase hit him with one of them the $1 million sleeper hold, and just Bones never came back.
See, that's tragic. That's tragic. But if that didn't happen, he wouldn't be here with us today. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of not tragic. So
everything happens for a reason.
Thank you for coming back, checking us out there. Keith, also thank you for checking us out. So and Bogey, thank you for coming back to the clubhouse.
Come on.
Here, Bogey.
I'm the Goldberg right now. I'm on a streak.
Hey, not only on your streak here, we gotta get this.
Earlier tonight here at Gila River Arena, as Shane Jones was leaving the ice during warm-ups, he had the hat trick, and tonight the fans.
The fans are going crazy. 3 weeks in a row here that we've had you here at the clubhouse.
Yes.
So, we just have to make a spot for you, man. It's just getting like I said, everyone's coming to expect it now. So
there it is. It's not really me. It's really Bones who steals the show. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm not going to argue with you there. I mean, he is holding the belt for a reason. So
yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get our last guest in here for the night. Like I said, we are without the Mouth from the Bay. He's taking a little rest there. So, but this other guy, like I said, he has been here before, and he has listened to us, came back again, ready to chop it up week one. Our boy, Mike Tipton from Just the Tip. How you doing?
I'm always good, man. Happy to be here. Glad to be here. I'm sad that I don't have like a skeleton standing behind me, though.
Not everyone has a Virgil. You know what I mean? Not everyone can have their like a henchman. I would have some, but I'm pretty quick.
We're actually taking him up to Vegas next week. It's his birthday.
Oh shit! Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect time to celebrate.
Yeah, he's gonna be out there live and direct in Vegas with us.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Can't have it any other way. So guys, let's go ahead and get into it real quick, or not real quick. We have some time here. What were your thoughts on week one of the NFL preseason of 2025? I know a few guys stood out to me, like Shador Sanders and few guys on my team as well. But what are your thoughts? Did anybody on your personal team stood out? And if not, who did make a statement there week one? Bones? Let's go with Bones.
We definitely liked seeing a Robert Saleh defense, even though it's only a small sample size for what to expect from 2025 is another physical Niner defense. Everybody flying around. I was excited to see that kid Siegel, whatever you want to. That's a Guccini special. He's been highlighting him all offseason. So to see this kid fly around, I'm like, okay. And then CJ West, another one of our rookies, he was doing his thing. He's definitely needed. Just our interior has been, horrendous this last couple of years. It hasn't been Niner-esque. We're giving up a lot of yards on the ground. And then he's not just a run stuffer. He also can get at the passer. So I'm excited. I'm excited for our the outlook, because that's definitely part of our identity, and we kind of lost that identity since the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl run we had. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mike, any players on your team or anybody in the preseason that kind of made a name for themselves, you think?
I was kind of wanting to see more from Joe Milton, right? Like that's Dak Prescott has an injury history, so I would have liked to see Joe Milton come out here, be a little more accurate. Like, sure, he had the touchdown. I think that's the thing, right? Is like you'll see all these highlights of Joe Milton just showing off. He's got an absolute cannon, but you want him to be accurate. Like the Cowboys offense, if it becomes one-dimensional, you want your quarterback to be able to, help you move the ball down the field. It's the preseason, though, and I don't put a lot of stock in the preseason. Like, even seeing Shador, right, like, that's cool. But if your quarterback completed 60% of his passes, you wouldn't be happy with him. You know what I mean? And that was Shador's stat line. Completed 60% of his passes. Sure, he got 2 touchdowns. It's the Cleveland Browns. It's preseason. I said this earlier this week. The preseason doesn't matter, man. Like the year the Lions went 0-17, they went 0-16, they went 4-0 in the preseason. So preseason games just like I don't get too high, I don't get too low. I'm just happy to have football back. That's the way that I look at it.
Yeah,
You know what's interesting though is even though you're right, the preseason games don't matter, but you know who takes them to heart though is John Harbaugh and the Ravens.
Oh,
They even they don't like losing any games, including the preseason. So they're one of those
They're
teams that
trying to keep the streak alive.
for real.
and that's the thing too, is like I think the preseason is cool because like you see like players that you normally wouldn't see, right? Like you get introduced to guys, you wind up, rooting for these dudes and you want to see where they go later on in their career, even if it's not with like your team, right? Like you guys up in Chicago, you got a dude from here in El Paso named Deion Hankins who caught a touchdown for y'all in the preseason game, right? Like that was cool to see, like on a personal level, because his mom's a friend of mine. He's been on my show. He's done stuff like that. He's representing the city of El Paso, right? So now we got him and Aaron Jones representing El Paso as running backs in the NFL. That's like, that was awesome to see. Those are the stories I'm looking for. Wins and losses, man, I couldn't care less right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
and from a fantasy standpoint, I'm usually just looking like who's lining up with who. You know what I mean? Like if I'm monitoring a running back that I want to get the job, like is he with the ones? Like, seeing Harvey with the ones, right? But I'm pretty sure people are going to overreact to that. They're going to go, oh, I'll say Harvey. And then next week, I'm sure they're going to, we're going to see JK with the ones, because it's just, we should expect some form of 1A, 1B. But like, yeah, that's one thing I do like to see is for like, okay, at least I know if I see JK there, I'm like, okay, JK is going to be the value this year if he's going to be running with the ones like I expect. And, RJ, not being able to pass pro just because of his size, I could assume he's not just going to take all of the work. You know what I mean? And these are things I look for, especially with the youngsters.
Well, one of the new rookies that really stood out last week, obviously, was Travion Henderson. He had that long kick return back for a touchdown. If he were to have another stellar game like that again in week 2, especially since more of the starters are supposedly playing for most teams here, could you see him kind of being the number one rookie kind of running back taken over the Marion Hamptons and whatnot? Even Alshon.
It won't be over Genty. It won't be over Genty because that draft capital, and then even Amarion Hampton, with them coming out and saying like, no matter if it's Najee or if it's Sanders or whoever it is, they're going to run some form of a timeshare with to go along with Hampton. So like, but even with all that said, the first round capital, it's like, okay, you're going to use this kid. Henderson, he still has a decent capital on him, and like, you just gotta love Josh McDaniels running backs, and this guy can pass pro his ass off. Like, whatever you wanna, if you wanna, hold value in PFF gradings or things of that nature. Anywhere you look, this kid's one of the higher pass pro graded, and I tend to look for these things because that's what's gonna get a kid on the field. And Josh McDaniels running backs, they catch a ton of balls. I mean, I think he's been a play caller for 14 seasons, maybe more. Something like that in the NFL. And you just go down the list, even in recent history, whether it's the James White and a Deion Lewis or it's a Josh Jacobs when he spent his time, or even with Ramondre Stevenson just a couple seasons ago, he caught 69 balls, like 50 plus balls is probably. What's up?
I said pause real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I had a 9-second pause rule. You know what I mean? You beat me to it. But yeah, he definitely caught a ton of balls. Pause. You know what I mean? And this is just what you should expect from a Josh McDaniels running back, and he could pass pro. So and Stevenson, he's not going to go away. He also has injury history, and I'm not saying, okay, I'm banking on that, and then now this kid gets all the work. But this kid is he's gonna get right in the mix immediately.
All right, Tipton.
It doesn't sound like, I think you, like, if you're gonna take a run, like if you have the ability to have like the first pick or whatever, and like you're going for rookies, then it's got to be Ashton Genty, right? Like he's gonna be the workhorse in Vegas with the Raiders. He's gonna get the majority of the carries, like barring injury, he's going to be ran into the ground, and like we saw, he's like the type, like the prototypical type of running back that you want, right? Like he's big enough, he's going to get you to the end zone. He'll be able to get into the end zone. He'll do all the stuff that you want him to do. Like I just think, but like if we're taking Ashton Genty off the board, then yeah, I can see Travion Henderson being the first running back taken or something like that, right? But like it's got to be Ashton Genty, man. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to be the guy at running back there, right? Like, he's not going to be splitting time. We're talking about, all the teams in the NFL now, they normally have like a 2 running back system, sometimes bring in a 3rd running back. He's going to be like 1A and 1B, and the Raiders might have someone else that they bring in, but Ashton Genty is going to get the majority of the carries there, right? So,
Yes.
like, if you got the first one and you're going to take the first running back, I think the value is going to be with Ashton Genty. If you want a running back later on in the first round, then that's where like Omarion Hampton and them come in.
Okay.
Yeah, and like these guys are their ADPs are like Hampton, he tends to go in like the 3-4 turnaround range as it stands now, and he probably might drop a couple spots too because of them talking about having a timeshare. And then with Genty, it's hard, you can't argue against Genty. And if there was a case to be made, maybe Raheem Mostert steals a bunch of touchdowns away. Just because, and I'm only saying that because Radio Raheem, he just did that with an A-Chan rookie year, scoring like 20 tugs or whatever, and A-Chan still was able to do a bunch of damage as well.
But
That's probably the worst case scenario. But yeah, I don't, barring any injury, it's all Genty.
And that's the thing too. Like they had A-Chan and Mostert last year. Miami did, and
they transitioned away from
Mostert. It felt like Mostert didn't get any carries at all last year. I had him as like a backup on one of mine, thinking that I was going to get something.
He did get hurt. Yeah, he did get hurt as well. So that's the other thing to consider with him, to where he's 2 years older from there, and he's got an injury on top of that. So who knows how much tread's still left really on those tires when it comes to Mostert. So, I mean, I know we like to have our handcuffs, but I'm not sure how much of a handcuff he's going to be, for Genty. But
yeah, if anything happened to Genty, it probably goes to a committee or a timeshare with Mostert and whoever, Labe is the French.
And the one thing that I would say too is like the Raiders aren't going to be a good team this year, so I think Genty's going to get a lot of targets as well, right? Like screen passes, things like that. So they're going to be playing from behind a lot. Like don't expect a lot of rushing yard. Like I think he can get close to 1,000. I wouldn't expect him to like crack 1,000 right off the bat. But like all yards together, I think he'll be well over 1,000 because he's going to have a ton of targets too because the Raiders are just garbage.
Yeah, and you got to love when you got a guy like Pete Carroll who has that pedigree of running backs for us in fantasy, and then, they love to feed one guy and use them in multifaceted, right, in the passing game. And then you have Chip Kelly, who has another history of just having multifaceted running backs. It's almost like the perfect combo for Genty, along with the draft capital. And at least Genty, people aren't overreaching on him. Like I've been seeing him fall to the early second round, which is, and I like that. I think that's more risk avert for a guy that we've never seen in the NFL, but we could safely assume he gets at minimum 300 touches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it really comes down to too, right? Is like what type of league you're in. Like if you're in a dynasty league, Genty's got to be one of the first.
Oh, he's the 101, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're just in like a regular league where like you're resetting your team every year, then yeah, like that's a second round guy. Like there's so many other running backs you can get in the first round before you get to Ashton Genty.
Well, speaking of other running backs, one of the other running backs was on a holdout, finally did get paid today with James Cooks. So do you think that is going to help his draft value at all, his ADP in some of these leagues? Do you think people were maybe kind of steering clear of him because of that? Or if they're steering clear of him, it's because of other reasons?
100%. No, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I think if they're steering clear of him, it's because like we were talking about how Raheem Mostert might take away some touches from Ashton Genty. The touchdown vulture that the Buffalo Bills got is Josh Allen. Like he's going to be taking some points away from your guy, but like he wasn't holding out. Like he was still practicing with the team. He was holding in. He was doing like all that stuff. So like if anyone was scared about that contract deal or like anything like that, they just weren't paying attention, right? Like he's not the best running back there. Like I still think he's a mid-tier running back, right? Like if you're reaching for him, you're probably got some bad advice from somebody because I don't think he's going to get a ton of yards. I don't think he's going to get a ton of touchdowns. I mean, like it's the majority of the touchdowns are going to go to Josh Allen. What do you have? 25 rushing touchdowns or something like that? Like, or 12 rushing touchdowns last year. Like 25
would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he had I don't think he's had no less than 8 in his career per season, Josh Allen. And then even to your point, James Cook, he had 18 total touchdowns last year. That's going down. Like that's a crazy outlier for a guy who averaged like 4 touchdowns a year prior to that. But I mean, I do like that he wasn't holding in at all and stuff. Because that's the one thing I think I was scared of. Is like, I don't want to have a running back who was holding out and then now he's not in game shape and they got to ramp him up or he gets hurt because he's not, kind of like the inverse of Ayuk last year when Ayuk, even though Ayuk's a receiver obviously, but Ayuk holds out, he gets the bag, then he finally gets in and it's just like it's trash until he gets hurt. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of that is because the process starts in June for a reason. You know what I mean? Start ramping these guys up by the time because they're going to be in car crashes for 18 weeks straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, guys, I have a few trades that have already happened. As you know, we're right in the midst of the preseason, so that means fantasy drafts have already happened. Some of them are coming up this weekend. Some of them get pushed off until all the preseason games are done, which is the way I personally would like it. I would hate to draft someone in the first round or second round and then bam, fucking ACL and he's out for the season. And now I just hope I got his backup or can get his backup if I haven't already. But let's look over a few of these trades and kind of give our thoughts on who we think may have won the trade, or like I said, maybe sometimes trades work out for both teams. So if that's the case, let's hear it. So here's the first one that I want to have us look over here. Sorry if it's a little small. I'll try and blow up your screen here. If not, I can break it down. This looks like
that before.
It is a PPR league, 12-man dynasty league. One side we got Drake London.
What?
Drake May.
What?
Ladd McConkey. And a first round, a number 4 pick in exchange for Joe Mixon, Cortland Sutton, and Justin Jefferson. So
just by proxy, I like the first side and you get the pick. And I'm pretty sure that team probably had an abundance of receivers. That's why he was able to offload that many. And he probably needed running backs. He goes with sending the first though. It was probably so he can get Jefferson as well. You know what I mean? Like you can't buy like I would imagine for me if I was the Jefferson owner, it's going to take that to get Jefferson off me at minimum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean you got a young up and coming receiver in McConkey and pretty much London too. London's still
and then Drake May. If this is a super flex, I absolutely love this for the Drake May side.
Yeah, I mean, the other side definitely seems to be going for win now mode because all his guys are definitely a lot older with Mixon for sure.
And Jefferson obviously is elite, you know what I mean? But, maybe
he's peaking right now, right? Would you say? Is it fair to say Jefferson's peaking at his peak moment, or is he still on the rise?
I think it just all depends on young JJ McCarthy here. If they built a really nice car over there. That car is a really nice car. If JJ could drive this car, nice. You know what I mean? It's a lot of pieces on there. And I just, maybe this person's trying to get out early. Maybe he doesn't want to be a part of the figure it out season for Jefferson. I'm not scared like that when it comes to Jefferson, me personally, though. Like, he's Jefferson. I think he's QB proof. And then with Kevin O'Connell's going to sling that thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no matter who the quarterback is in Minnesota, they're going to be all right, right? Like,
yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Like I'm looking at this trade and I'm like, you gave up Justin Jefferson and Joe Mixon, but like you got back Drake London, Drake May, Ladd McConkey. Like it feels
and the first.
Yeah, it feels like a wash. You know what I mean? Like I can't say either team got better or
kind of lateral.
Yeah, like it like I don't see again like even if you're in win now mode, I feel like you could have won with Ladd McConkey and with Drake May and with Drake London, right? Like I feel like you would have done all right, and you would have had. And I honestly think like Joe Mixon's numbers, I think they're going to go down this year, right? Like I know a lot.
He's already hurt.
yeah, a lot of people are big on Houston. I'm not big on Houston. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston doesn't win that division.
I love Houston in fantasy even more, just with the idea that their run game might not be good and they're just gonna throw it a lot. Like, you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
That's why I'm glad I got Nico Collins on one of my teams.
Let's go. Shout out to Nico.
Yeah, well, like I said, it'd be interesting to see what was the tipping, no pun intended, Mike. What was the tipping point, though, as far as what pushed this trade through and stuff? Because, like I said,
I feel like somebody just wanted to have Justin Jefferson. Like, that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then they're like, "Oh, I'll settle for Cortland."
A homer.
And
that was a homer trade.
That's what it feels like.
All right.
You know, I always try to imagine the context here. Like, okay, in the event it's a super flex, and this guy needed a QB, a young QB, and he gets a first round. I feel like he wins that trade, just that alone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, you know, giving up the Jefferson, yeah, that's, you know, and then, you know, for London and McConkey, I think that's, you know, for what they could produce on a week-to-week basis combined, that like I do agree with you. He could have just stayed put, you know what I mean? But maybe there's context here. He has that third QB and he's willing to move. So, and this is just the formula. Sometimes in Dynasty, it's the formula. Like, look, okay, you happen to have Jefferson, who I want, and you need a QB. And it's like, so what is it going to take? And you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can't even talk to a certain person if, you know, because then that's usually what I'm looking for is needs for needs. So there's definitely some context here that would probably make this make way more sense.
Fair enough. Well, let's break down this other one here. It looks like this one was not accepted, but proposed here. So we have CeeDee Lamb and James Cook and a first round number 6 pick in the first round for Devin Achane, Jalen Wright, and Nico Collins. So speaking of Nico there, so which side of this do you kind of like better?
Yeah, that's how about this? If this was sent to me, I'm probably not accepting it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the CD, I don't get, like, CD is a guy, he's kind of, listen, I think George Pickens opens it up for CD even, you know what I mean? Versus like, and maybe he doesn't get 180 targets, but he still don't get 160 or something like that. Like, just feel this in my bones, you know what I mean? Ain't that right, Bones? But you know what I mean? I want that concentrated target market share to one guy. He's one of the only guys that has that. And, you know, even with George Pickens there, all those other miscellaneous guys, you know, the Jalen Tolberts of the world, and then all the Brandon Cooks, all their targets that was there last year, hey, just give it to George Pickens. And I feel like, you know what I mean, in fantasy, I'm not just moving off of that, you know what I mean, for cheap. You know what I mean? So even for the guy that's selling CD, I don't even think that's enough to sell CD for, you know what I mean?
And I like even looking at like the running back package there, right? Like Miami doesn't have a great offensive line. They're probably going to be playing from behind a lot this year. Like oh man, like that's not enough for me to give up CD or a first round pick. Like I love Nico Collins, but I feel like giving up CD, giving up James Cook, giving up a first round pick for that package, getting that back, that's a hell no from me, man. Like I ain't offering that at all.
Yeah.
Is that one of those trades where it's maybe so discouraging that you don't even want to negotiate further at that point? Or is it you could still kind of work off
Here's the thing. This is probably sent by the Nico guy.
Yeah.
You know, this is the Nico guy trying to buy him Lamb. And you know, a lot of times when people, they go, oh, well, I want Lamb, Cook, and that first. Then they go, oh, well, that's too much. But if they counter you and they take that first out, you're still in business. You know what I mean? Because the moment that they counter you and CD's still in it, then now you got, that's step one. Like, okay, he's willing to move CD here. Because that if I'm the CD guy, I get that offer, I'm not hitting accept for sure.
No.
Right. But it's, yeah, I can see, like I said, some guys be so insulted by it, whether it's like, you can't completely lowball too bad to where, and then at that point, you just completely don't even want to negotiate with anybody at that point.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that feels like a super low ball. Like if I was offered that, right? Like if I had Nico Harrison, I had Achane, and I had right, like I would take that trade all day.
I would accept that trade if I was on that side.
But if I was being offered Nico and those and then boys for what I got, nah, man. There's like it almost feels like you don't even know really what you want, right? Like you just want CD, you want a first round pick.
Yeah.
You got to give me more than Nico Harrison.
They feel like they have a preference and usually the preference is just someone they like better than the next. And that's, I'll hate a player, but if he's producing, I'll have him all day. You know what I mean?
Is this
like, my preference is production. Whoever produces, I'll have them. You know what I mean?
Is this a classic example of valuing your guys way more than they're actually valued?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Like we all know, like, we got that one dude that has like his team's like 1-4, and he's like, oh man, but I got this running back and he averages like 2 yards a carry. So why don't you trade me that for like a first round pick? And you'd be like, no, dude, what the hell are we even talking about right here, man? Like, no, but like he's really going to do good next year.
It was just an opening offer. They'll say anything. But I and God bless those guys. As long as they don't quit, we love them. You know what I mean?
Please keep giving me that money. Yes.
Yeah, as long as you don't quit neither. Fight. You die with honor. In the field of battle. You don't just give up. Plus, a lot of times in Dynasty too, that it's an art too. Like when you don't want to win, you get to a certain point and you're losing. You're like, okay, time to get the highest pick I can. You know what I mean? And it's not, you don't start anyone in your lineup. You gotta get creative and start throwing in some players that is gonna miss. But they're starting at least. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, and like you said, you need to die with honor, like Bones did. So
yes, Bones. He was up there with Lieutenant Dan. You know what I mean? But Gump didn't save Bones.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not. Maybe he just got hit by
one.
And
they wrote him out of the movie too. Some bitches.
Yeah, he didn't even get to see him. I didn't even see him, man. That's right. Anyways, let's last one here that I wanted to check out here. So this one, a little bit more players involved here. Another 12-team PPR. This one does not look to be a dynasty league. This is just maybe a redraft league. So here you don't even get to week one and you're already kind of getting trade offers and whatnot. So here we have Jalen Hurts, Bucky Irving, is that Jalen McMillan, Tampa Bay receiver, and Marvin Harrison for Justin Jefferson, George Pickens, Isaiah Pacheco, and Caleb Williams. So PPR league, 12-man.
I'll take the Jefferson side just because that just has the best player in the deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
everything else kind of a wash, more or less? Or is Jefferson just that much better or that much more elite to where it doesn't really matter?
I'm also not afraid of Isaiah Pacheco. I actually think we're getting great value on him as long as he can return to some form of what he was before the injury.
Yeah.
I'm okay with him. Also, running backs to me, I can care less for them in its entirety almost. Like I'm emphasizing the receivers as they have the long lastability, in my opinion. You know what I mean? In a redraft, that's why I'm scared to spend up early on running backs because, if I get to that winter time and they die on me, I'm mad if I spend first or second round on them. You can't just replace that out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So I tend to go receiver heavy. And in this case, like Caleb is another example. I feel like, what do you have? 3,500 passing yards last year? But just give me that again with maybe 8 more touchdowns, 9 more touchdowns. We're in the business here.
And that's I don't really know points. Like Caleb actually had less interceptions than Jaden Daniels did last year too, which is crazy that everyone's always, they make it seem like the difference between Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels was wild. It wasn't that big of a gulf, right? So for me, I don't know, man. I guess it all depends on what you want out of it. I like the Jalen Hurts aspect of it because I think Jalen Hurts gets you the yards on his feet, yards to the air, not going to get you a ton of touchdowns to the air, but he'll make up for that by getting touchdowns on the ground. Yeah. Maybe, right? Just depending on how the Eagles offense is going to be. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, by far in that scenario, the best player possible. And I don't think the offer that was there was worth trading Justin Jefferson away from my team, right? Jalen Hurts ain't going to do it to me. Bucky Irvin ain't going to do it for me. It's just not. And I think George Pickens is going to have a pretty decent year with the Cowboys. The Cowboys offense to me, they're going to be an explosive offense. The defense is going to be absolute garbage because that's what the Cowboys defense always is. So the Cowboys are going to have a lot of offensive opportunities. I feel like if you give up Justin Jefferson and George Pickens, you're giving up way too much.
Were you talking about the Cowboys again?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
Sorry, Mike, I had to do that.
You put them in the trade. Like you're the one. You could have been like, I don't want this George Pickens part of the trade in there.
I forgot he got traded to you guys again. My bad.
2 of your trades had Dallas Cowboys players in them, so you're the one bringing up the Dallas Cowboys.
This is fact. Yeah, I feel like
I'm not going to acknowledge that reality, Mike. I'm going to somehow still blame it on you. So just Cowboys fans doing Cowboys shit, somehow weaseling their way in here. Unbelievable.
All I'm saying is you look good with the big D in your mouth.
Damn.
Allegedly. So anyway, this is getting off track here. So Trax, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Bear down, absolutely. And then Darius, you're right. 6 interceptions was pretty impressive for a rookie last year. I'm expecting that if they're under a Ben Johnson offense, they're going to be more aggressive, especially with a lot more play action. So I do expect that number to go up, but hopefully it's risk reward, no risk it, no biscuit. I do expect more touchdown passes and more yards.
Well, and
as well.
They have a better offensive line this year too, so it's not like he's going to be under pressure the whole time. Like they addressed the offensive line. Like the Bears had a great offseason, man. Like if I'm a Bears fan, I'm excited about what the team is doing. Like I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year, but like in the next couple of years, they're going to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
Man.
The Dennis Allen pickup was really awesome too, because you have a former head coach, defensive-minded guy, obviously. And, he can just oversee that entire side of the ball while this rookie head coach figures it out for the first time. You know what I mean? So, you'll have someone that'll help you, time manage certain game situations and be able to, give you a heads up because Dennis Allen's just fresh off of being a head coach for, last few years, whatnot. I thought that was a great pickup. Plus, they have a lot of pieces on that defense that I like a lot. And Dennis Allen, like for example, Kyler Gordon's about to go crazy in fantasy this year. Just because he's about to be like CJ over there back with the Saints. You know what I mean? Remember CJ his little stint with the Saints is going crazy.
He just got paid too. Usually guys that just get the bag, they want to tend to feature them a bit more or kind of give them more opportunity to earn that money. So I'm expecting to see Kyler Gordon on the field a lot more.
Yeah, they're going to use him in multifaceted. I like it. I wonder who's the opposite of Montez Sweat? Like, who's it looking like?
See, and that's what I was just about to bring that up right now. So
okay, look at that. I just accidentally segued.
Last week, one of the guys that definitely shined for us in the preseason game was Austin Booker, guy that we had drafted
him get
last
picked up
year.
This week. Okay.
He had 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. And then assisted on another sack. So he really balled out. And I'm thinking if he can do that again with Buffalo, have a similar game, it's crazy to ask for another 3-sack game, but say he has 2 sacks and maybe a tackle for loss or whatnot, or just makes his presence felt like it was felt in the first game. I could see him getting that role, but the money is saying Dayo Adengbo is going to be the one that's going to be getting that first opportunity and first shot. Like I said, he's just got
great.
That guy. So, but he, like I said, I think he's the one that's going to be getting his first shot. But he really hasn't. We haven't seen anything from him really in the preseason and even in training camps. Haven't heard him make any kind of head waves at all. So. He may be a guy that just got a big bag that didn't really deserve it, but right place, right time.
I got one more question for you real quick. So, we obviously got TJ and we got Tremaine. Who's behind Tremaine? Is he like I know there's a kid. I think his name is like his last name is like hippopotamus or something like that. It's like HYPPE. I don't know.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
yes, I know who you're talking about.
Because Edmonds, he's on, Edmonds is on the hot seat. You know what I mean? They drafted a couple cats over there. They even drafted someone named Power or something. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you guys got some interesting inside linebackers there. That's why I'm like, okay, maybe I'll circle back around and ask you when the preseason's done.
One of the guys that also kind of stood out that had a good game was Noah Sewell. His brother's the offensive lineman for
for Detroit. Noah Sewell's been there for a cool minute. He's been there for this
he's been there. This is his third year. This is his third year, so it's kind of make or break for him. If he doesn't start showcasing himself, then he's not going to.
Jack Sanborn, the man-born, is when he's over there in Dallas now. He went and reunited with Eberflus. And so that's why I'm like, there's the third spot even that's available there. So, okay.
No. Yeah, it will be interesting, like I said. And then on the defensive, for guys that draft defensive players, I think Austin Booker is one of those dark horses to where he may not be the guy for the first 4 weeks, but I could see him slowly taking over that role, especially if Dio doesn't get any better, kind of showcase
Did you pick him up in the Kumite?
I did. Oh, no, I think I did. I don't know. I will now that you bring that up. But what do you call it? The good thing about Booker that I liked as well is he didn't get all his sacks. They were all done in different ways. One was a swing move. One he bull rushed and fought his way through. And another one, I think it was a swim or something else somehow, or a pick or whatnot. So each one of his sacks he got in a different kind of way. And so that's another kind of cool thing. He's just a one trick pony, for being a defensive end.
Nice.
Yeah. But what players are you looking forward in week 2 coming up? I know Tet had a decent outing with the Carolina Panthers last week. He had a few catches for about 40 yards or so. Is there any players that you're kind of looking forward to seeing if they can kind of redo that again, or any games in particular that you're looking forward to in week 2?
I want to see if Ben Johnson kind of gives into the pressure from everyone being like, yeah, you actually got to play Caleb a little bit. So I want to see if Caleb's going to actually get out there, because for a veteran quarterback like the Dak Prescotts, the Brock Purdy, players like that have been in the league for a while, I could see them not having to get some reps in. You want to see Caleb out there doing something, obviously maybe a couple of series, not a whole quarter or anything like that. You just want him to be out there, just be out there doing something, right? So I'd like to see if maybe he gets some time in with the Bears. The main thing I'm looking at right now, man, the Dallas Cowboys, that defense is bad. That defensive line is bad, the interior defensive line. So I'm looking at guys like Mozzie Smith, seeing I know it feels like it's so early in a dude's career to be maybe he's washed because he's only been this will be his 3rd year in the league, but he hasn't lived up.
Oh no, is he giving me Taco vibes?
He is, dude. He's
because remember Taco was super high prospect, high capital, and then just by year 3 he was just cut. He wasn't it.
It feels like he's going to be that way, man. So he's got 2 years where he's played in every game over the last 2 years, and if I'm not mistaken, the total tackles is 32. That's not enough, man. For an interior defensive lineman, you've got to be able to get I'm not expecting sacks or anything like that for him, but they're running the ball right at you. And that's the issue with the Dallas Cowboys defense right now is they can rush the quarterback, they can defend the pass, but they cannot stop the run. And
you guys are a funnel in that aspect.
Yeah.
And even over the years, I hate to bring it up, but you can talk about how my Niners got knocked out of the Super Bowl. But anyways, when those couple years consecutively when we went up against y'all in the post, I was like, man, we're just gonna run it right into the teeth every time, because that's just the weakness. And then, but there's also for fantasy purposes, I love you guys inside linebackers because of it over the years. They just rack up hella tackles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the interior linebackers, the safeties and stuff like that, they get a ton of tackles if you're
they get money.
But if you're in IDP league, that's awesome. But if you have the Dallas Cowboys defense, you just have a defense only type league.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put a lot of money on that Cowboys defense, man.
Well, speaking of IDPs, how are you feeling about Parsons? When do you think that gets all settled and you start seeing him on the field?
Man, I've been saying this since the beginning. The Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, he loves all the drama. He loves all that bull crap that goes along with it. I had some sources last year that told me the Dak Prescott deal was done back in May. They just wanted to
Be in the headline.
Put on a show.
That's what the Cowboys do, right? Like Jerry's going to tell him, no matter what happens, I'm going to sign you. You're my guy. Let's just blow this thing up because every news outlet out there, every sports media person out there is going to have an opinion about the Dallas Cowboys. Man, I wish I can go, especially this time of year, right? I wish I can go like 2 days without seeing a headline about the Dallas Cowboys. I was like, they did nothing yesterday. What's the first headline I see? Jerry Jones admits that he had skin cancer. It's like, goddamn, dude, we got to do everything to make sure we're in the news, huh? Like
he
we
got it on the schedule. On Monday, they're gonna hear about my adversities.
Yep. That's exactly what it feels like. It's like, okay, everyone's been laying it in on Jerry Jones. Now we're gonna be, oh damn, he had skin cancer for a decade. He had to have 4 surgeries. He finally got tumors removed. Damn, dude.
Dang.
No, like I feel bad now making fun of the way he looks.
And you know what? Here I am. I swear, Jerry Jones is immortal, and he'll outlive all of us.
I've said it a bunch of times too. He'll find a way. Like, I don't know if you remember Futurama. He's going to be one of them floating heads in a jar, like just making all the moves.
Yeah, we actually, I think, shout out to our man Neon Peacock on our merch site. He got one, in the Ninja Turtles, Krang. Like Krang's inside that little robot thing.
But that's gonna be Jerry.
But it's Jerry in there. You know what I mean?
Jerry's head in a robot stomach there.
Yeah.
Saying, how about them Cowboys?
Jerry Jones, I'm here for it.
Steven,
hey guys,
go get my robot body.
He's got enough money to build one or get one made for him, I'm damn sure. So he's got that oil money.
I need the best goddamn robot body money can buy. America's robot body.
I don't think he trusts his son to run the Cowboys after his first body can no longer do it. So real quick for the people out there in the chat, thank you for joining us. Like, we really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done that as well. Won't cost you anything. Promise you're not going to get a hidden bill in the mail. And even if you do, you can trash that shit. I won't tell anyone. But also, we also have a few more spots open in our Clubhouse Fantasy Football League. Free, doesn't cost anything, but if you do win, get your name on that belt, like our boy Frank the Tank did, won the first year. So if you wanted, there's, like I said, only 3 spots. It's a 16-man league. So if you guys are interested there in the Clubhouse, please go ahead and let me know. I'll drop the thing in the chat here, the link to join there. But going back to what we're talking about real quick here at the last few minutes we have in our show, one of the games that I'm particularly interested in seeing is the Titans and Falcons game, because 2 of the quarterbacks, I'm very curious to see how they do. And one, Cam Ward, the rookie, and then last year's rookie, Michael Penix. Really curious to see how the chemistry between
Old man Penix
and London's going to be. Yeah, old man Penix. Yeah, he was an old man rookie like Brandon Whedon was. Remember that guy, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, that was my favorite number 3 for the Dallas Cowboys of all time.
I used to call him the Weed Man. In Dallas and in Cleveland.
I used to call him the Weed Man. He was my favorite quarterback for a while.
I love it. Hey, Brandon, we didn't have that 1 year in Cleveland too. He was going crazy.
Yeah, that one.
Him and Trent Richardson. Remember the one Trent Richardson year?
Oh,
You definitely had Flash Gordon taking the top off, and he was going crazy too. I think it might have been Kyle Shanahan calling the plays. I think it was him and Pat Shurmur over there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you may be right. That's I think you're actually right about that. But about the game there, what were your guys' thoughts on Cam Ward's first game? Are you guys curious about how Michael Penix and Drake London will do together, or not too interested in that game at all?
I'm one of the few people that likes Atlanta, right? Like I feel like Atlanta could be really good because there's something about Michael. Like, I know he only completed 58.8% of his passes last year. It was thrown in at some weird times. Atlanta was going through the weird transition. Like, you had the whole thing with Kirk Cousins, Kirk being hurt, doing all the stuff that he was doing. But I kind of like the future of what Atlanta could do, right? Like, I like the Drake London thing. I'm still big on Kyle Pitts. I know a lot of people have given up on him. I'm still big on Kyle Pitts. I just think he hasn't been used correctly, man. Now you can use him as like a check down kind of dude. You got Bijan there. All three levels of the offense that you want to have that you can protect your quarterback with, they've got. Plus, Penix can give you a couple of yards rushing. Like, I think if they use him that way, they'll be all right. But I can also see the Atlanta Falcons being the Atlanta Falcons and just messing the whole damn thing up.
I do like them as a whole this year because that division, 10 wins probably wins that division like it has.
I think 9 wins gets that division.
Yeah, 9 wins even. I'm not even going to argue that. And so Atlanta, I think, will be in the mix this year. Maybe it's a 3-legged race this year because I think the Saints are purposely going to try to lose, right?
Okay.
And then but going back to Atlanta, I mean, Walker and Pierce, just drafting those 2 guys in the first round just immediately solves your pass rush issues. You know what I mean? I love their inside linebackers over there. The secondary probably has one glaring spot, and that's just opposite of A.J. Terrell on the perimeter. That guy's probably going to get roasted routinely. But their defense should take a massive step forward. And, Bijan is basically CMC of the NFC South. He's a black CMC essentially because, and this is verbatim what they said they wanted to do when they got Zach Robinson in there last year. He was like, I want to use him like the Niners use CMC. And this is like verbatim what he said. And so I do like, when he had a career year last year, finally broke out. We only had to wait 1 season because we're not fooling around with Arthur Smith now. And then going back to the Tennessee side, I mean, I love the value that we're getting out of Calvin Ridley in fantasy this year. He's the guy who's probably going to get 140 targets, and we're getting him super late in drafts. Especially if you're a guy that goes to early running backs or whatnot, and then now you're targeting value receivers. This guy is one of them. You know what I mean? Or if you're a guy who goes greedy on receivers, and I can get him late, I'm still getting him. I'm more. I want them all. You know what I mean?
But I'm a history dude, and I always think history repeats itself, right? Like the Titans have had guys like Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins. They've had some good receivers that have been there that you expect maybe you'll get something out of them that you just don't get anything out of. And I feel like that's going to be what Calvin Ridley winds up becoming, right? Like I can see them being really good with Calvin Ridley, and then I can see Calvin Ridley just giving us a Julio Jones type season again, where it's 8 receptions for 42 yards, right? It's just not.
Calvin Ridley definitely didn't shit the bed last year with the Titans. And then, we got the same coordinators. There's some continuity here, but now with a better QB. So if you just look at what he did last year with, the mayonnaise man, what is his name? Will Levis, right? And then old racist Rudolph. You know what I mean? Calvin Ridley was serviceable. So, and I do like that he was just going straight to Calvin Ridley. And in the small sample size we got, he was looking for Calvin Ridley early and often. And even if this is just them trying to get on the same page or whatnot, if I can get 140 targets out of someone I'm getting in the late mid rounds, I don't care how ugly or how pretty it looks. You know what I mean? Give me the volume.
Yeah.
Do you think there's enough weapons around Cam Ward for him to be a serviceable quarterback in redraft leagues?
No, that's why I like Calvin Ridley so much too. And then also even the big Chig is up, Chig Okonkwo. You know what I mean? He's definitely a late round acquisition when you're waiting for a late round tight end. You know what I mean? Because I'm not usually a guy myself personally who spends up on a tight end. So I'm trying to diagnose these guys that could be a tier jumper. He could fall into 80 targets easily. You know what I mean? Just because, you got the old cliche of a rookie QBs tend to lean on a tight end. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. He's gonna be a security blanket. That's all that's gonna be. So I even think 80 targets will probably be a little low. I think he'll be closer to around 100 targets. I like
it. I like your version better.
Yeah, I'm with it, man, because to me that's the only way Cam Ward has success, man. I like Tony Pollard as a runner, so they're gonna have a decent run game, but their offensive line is gonna be bad. It's gonna be a lot of checkdowns, man. And they're going to have to, if you are going to use Calvin Ridley, you got to hit him on a lot of slants and quick outs like that. It can't be anything real far down the field. I think that would be frustrating for people that have Cam Ward as their quarterback. But if you're starting Cam Ward, something went terribly wrong in your league.
Even in a super flex, that means you waited entirely too long.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Tony Pollard, it does look like he may get a little bit more of the carries since Tajay Spears got a little nicked up on the last preseason game. So his draft, his draft value may take a little bit of a dip, his ADP, but that's if you're not in fear of that, somewhere to get him even cheaper than what he was already going for. So keep an eye on for Spears. And then one of the guys that, not a major guy, but one's going to be out for the season. It looks like Alexander Matheson as well is out for the season. Took a hard tackle there and landed right on his head, and was luckily able to walk off the field. But as soon as he kind of got checked out, it looks they kind of didn't take too long to kind of knock him off.
I think it's a season-ending neck and surgery, something like that.
And that may be all for him too, because he wasn't a young pup. You know, he was a guy that was already 8 seasons in or something like that. So getting one of those type of injuries, and especially at the running back position, unfortunately, that may be all she wrote for his NFL career.
Yeah, with Alexander Madison, I think he was a 2018 guy for Minnesota. He was behind Dalvin Cook that same year. Yeah.
So unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can make a comeback. We've seen guys make bigger comebacks and stuff, or come back from
I got one thing I'm excited for, and I want to. I'm glad I remember this because I want to ask our man Mike here, because I'm excited to see how this backfield is going to play out in Dallas, because there's value there. No one is spending up anything of note to get any of these running backs. And for a guy like me who goes heavy receiver, I try to diagnose these guys late. You know, the Jordan Masons of the world, you know, the Javonte Williams of the world. And I'm like, is Blue, like, what are we doing here in Dallas? Who's the guy I should target?
To me, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say Blue. Like, I think he's going to be their primary back towards the middle part of the season.
Okay, like maybe come like mid-October-ish, like come Halloween.
Yeah, like I think you got him for the long haul, right? Like you just got him, you store him on your bench, you'll see him get some stuff because he's super explosive, right? So that'll be the case. Like if the Dallas Cowboys can establish some sort of run game, like let's think about this last year, right? They had
Rico.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle.
Rico Suave.
They got Rico Dowdle 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
With a team that was playing from behind all the time, that shouldn't have been running the ball, right? So, like, if they can establish a run, I think with a more dynamic back like Blue, like, he would really be able to open up stuff. Like, I'm big on him. Like, I was big on Deuce Vaughn. I don't think they used Deuce Vaughn the way that they probably should have. I think his value's gone, cratered out, right? But I think that most people, if you're looking for a running back with the Dallas Cowboys, most people are going to go Williams, they're going to go Sanders, but I think the value you're going to get is with Blue.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice.
You know what sucks is that, like, Cowboys are they have such a vast fan base, even over here out in Cali, my home leagues. Of course, we got a couple Cowboys guys. Those are going to be the ones that reach on Blue. I don't even know it. My boy Blue.
My boy Blue.
I honestly think, because I think people are going to work this way with them, that they're going to go more after Deuce Vaughn than they are after Blue. Like
because right now, currently, Deuce Vaughn is ahead of him on the depth chart.
Yep.
Yeah, and because they were trying to label Blue as like lazy and things of that nature, but Blue's running with the team ones in practice. You know what I mean? So I like seeing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I think towards the middle part of the season, and it might even be like late September, that he winds up being the number one guy. But the Cowboys have ran, I want to say, for like the last 4 or 5 years, they've ran basically a running back by committee. And normally by September, October, they figured out who their number one guy is going to be.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, whether it was starting with Zeke and Tony Pasta, and then, you know, kind of phasing into the Tony Pasta year, and then they franchise tag him, then they phased into Rico last year, and like, yeah, I mean, because it's just cheap money, and they're going to produce. And I love Shoddy, even though Shoddy isn't just by proxy, you know, they run the ball, right? You know, it's in their genome, right? It's in their ancestry. But like, he's also responsible for the let Russ cook season, and you know what I mean, and even Dak, you know, and Cooper Rush, for what it's worth, the last couple of years, they've been slinging it all over the place. So, you know what I mean, now with George Pickens there, I feel like this running back is going to have, especially if you have an explosive back like Blue, you said, you're going to have, you know, you got everyone, you get a light box. This guy's gone. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing with the Cowboys. Like, I think of the Cowboys will actually, instead of running him down the middle, if they kind of do like a lot more outside runs with
the
him,
outside.
like that's where he'll be much more effective. And like, I agree. Like, I know I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm probably the wrong person to be talking about it, but the Dallas Cowboys offense is the only offense that led the NFL in, points per game, yards per game twice over the last 6 seasons, right? They have an explosive offense whenever they've actually got Dak Prescott out there nice and healthy. Cooper Rush, of all people, got himself a bag to be the backup quarterback for Lamar Jackson because he had all those weapons around him with the Dallas Cowboys. The offense is never going to be the problem with the Cowboys. It's going to be if they can stop the damn run, because if you got a team that can run the ball down their throat, they're done.
Yeah.
Why throw it? Yeah.
Yeah, the possession battle, the time of possession battle is hasn't been your guys' greatest strength in the last.
I've already got a ton of like white hair, gray hair in my beard. I'm going to probably have more by the end of the season because this team is going to win games in the last minute and they're going to lose games in the last minute. They're going to age me more than I'm already aged.
Oh, Mike, I thought you put that in yourself. They have that touch of gray stuff. So I thought you were trying to.
I got to be the silver fox. I got to be a silver fox.
I actually entered the George Clooney phase of my life as well.
Oh, that's a good phase. That's a good phase.
The salt and pepper. You know what I mean?
I do have a company called Cleverman. They like give me stuff for like taking care of my body and stuff like that. And they sent me like a whole thing of beard dye. So I was thinking maybe I dye the beard. Maybe we'll see how it goes. I pull on the full Kevin Nash, like he was like all white, and then he comes out one day with all black. That's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
There you go. I like that.
I also
Dallas Cowboys silver.
All right.
I told my wife a couple of weeks ago, whenever Hulk Hogan passed away, that I was going to like trim this down, do it real jet black like he did with WCW.
Yep.
Like
keep the beard, the mustache two-tone.
Dude,
I always thought
that would be your villain arc coming in like, that's your say hello to the bad guy moment right there.
No, let me tell you something, brothers.
Yeah. Hey,
I did not inhale. Maybe that's somebody else I'm thinking. I don't know. But anyways, guys, we're up to the mark here. So I want to thank you guys again for joining us and coming back to the clubhouse, chopping it up with me, especially since I was a man down. I really appreciate it. 1,000 thanks. Mike, please tell the good people in the clubhouse where they can find you and Just the Tip.
Well, Just the Tip, that's a different thing, baby. You can find me on social media at Mr. Tipton33, Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. I got it locked down, Mr. Tipton33. I have a show every Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. So that's 10 Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. So if you're on the Pacific time, you ain't tuning in to me. And if you are, you're a trooper and you've got some problems and you should probably get that stuff checked out. But it's The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. And like I said, Mr. Tipton33 on all my social media.
Yes, Mike, I do have problems when I do try and check into your show, but this is where we go to work out our problems, so.
Exactly. Hey, I say it all the time. My show's a therapy couch, baby.
Thank you. Bones and Bogey, please tell the good people of the clubhouse where they can find you guys, the package deal there.
Yes. You can find us on Instagram at the GenWealthNet _ all one word. And then you can find all of our wonderful programs on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, GenWealthNet. And that one's not all one word, just GenWealthNet. Let's go.
Awesome. Well, once again, guys, like I said, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody in the chat that tuned in. I really do appreciate it. TC, your boy Tommy Kananza coming in here. Thank you.
Forget about it.
You did kind of miss it. We're kind of wrapping it up, but you can check out the replay here, rewind it back there. Check us out. Please hit the thumbs up and like us, and come back next week because we doing this shit again next week.
I held it down for the Dallas Cowboys, Tommy. That's all you need to know. I held it down for our Dallas Cowboys. I hate that I love them. They're going to hurt me this year, but I held it down anyway.
Gay.
You would know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. No. I would not know. So you misspoke there, my friend.
You'd be the expert.
No.
Look, we already talked about this.
What am I saying here? I'm not in the mood. Get back off.
Come on, guys.
Anyways, guys, we're gonna go ahead and cut it off here before we get cut off completely here. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, be safe out there, be good out there. But if you can't be good, damn it, at least be good at it.
You got to decide whether you're a wolf or a sheep.
Gonna be a wolf.
This has been a Chicago Clubhouse Network production.
That was awesome.
It was.
And now it's all over.
That was awesome.